Okay guys, so this is going to be part 2 where I kind of just break down the components on the Decker Packframe system itself. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, that's where I detail the 3A gear and kind of where it's located within this pack system. Make sure you check that out too. Thanks for watching. So I'm going to go ahead. This pack bucket is an accessory sold by Hill People Gear for their pack systems. And it's pretty, you can put it on just about anything. And it just uses these G hooks, and I hook them over these bands or these straps here. I'll set that to the side for a minute so I can kind of detail the pack itself. And so you kind of see we've got the main bag here. This is called the Decker Pocket, and it attaches to the frame with these side straps. Okay, and these side straps, you can draw these things way out. All right, because this whole bag floats. Just undo one side real quick. This whole bag floats on the pack frame itself. It's not attached to the frame. This is your suspension, your shoulder straps, and hilt belt all attached to that. The only thing that's on here is this capture flap. And I just keep my foam pad rolled up in there, but it creates a sort of shelf, so you could put anything on here. Well, okay, not anything, but you can put a 5-gallon bucket, ammo can, etc. And I don't have it with me, but the Decker pack frame comes with, if you look on the back of this pocket, you can see there's this hypalon section right here with these 6 buckles coming off. This is a separate accessory to the frame, but when you buy the frame, it comes with essentially that same hypalon piece with those 6 buckles, and these would all clip in, and so you'd have this shelf, and then you'd have all of these coming across, clipping in on that centerpiece, so you could stabilize any large loads. Make sure to use that. That feels good. So it's a very versatile system. You could throw Pelican cases on, really anything you can fit on here, and that's actually not too heavy for you to carry. I believe the frame itself, they've tested it with 300-pound loads, and so it's very durable. So let's see, going down to the belt itself, I just have a water bottle pouch on this side with, I guess, what I call a bike bottle. I have one of those on each side, and then this utility pocket on the hip belt. I don't really use camelbacks that much. If I was in the desert or hiking a lot in a high heat area, I would. Real quick, I just want to kind of explain the other reasons why I don't really use them too much, unless it's, like I said, in the high heat environment. Really, up here with the cold, I've just had troubles with the tubes freezing, and also there's always the risk of the bladder breaking. Now, I'm not anti anything really. I just prefer harder containers, and even if I were to use a Camelback, I would still at least have, at a minimum, my stainless bottle available, so that if that Camelback bladder, and it could be Camelback or any other brand, if that bladder were to break, I at least have a backup way of storing and drinking water. Because having water easily accessible while you're hiking and exerting yourself is really important, I think, to stay hydrated. And that's why, even though I have those 2 1-liter bottles, the way they were in that wand pocket, that it's not something you're going to grab en route and drink out of. They're kind of there for the duration till you take your pack off and dig them out. So that's why I added these. I knew I wanted to keep those 1-liter bottles for longer trips, but these smaller bottles, easily accessible while you're hiking, so you can stay hydrated. I'll go into real quick on the line pocket again. I've got the line pocket itself has this sewn in pocket, and I've just cut a small piece of the same isomat foam material. And that just, if I want to shoot across this, gives me a nice soft pad. And actually, I've ended up sitting on this a lot too, so kind of worked out good. I've got my bipod and rifle cleaning gear, like I said. And then back here is just my team leader book with like pens, pencils, write in the rain pad, etc. And this is a treat for later, a little Earl Grey tea. Sounding pretty good right now, actually. So yeah, that's the 3A gear, and that gives me the capability to do my mission, which in this case was to hunt for deer, for mule deer, and also gives me a place to carry the equipment so that I can do everything I need to do. And if I should get into an emergency situation, I can handle that as well by backing it up with skills and equipment. You know, real quick, I want to talk about also, just like I was able to tear this down right here in the field to show you guys, had I brought that center hypalon section, I now have, you know, assuming we were going to set up camp here for a few days, I could still go out, collect firewood, other resources, of course, pack out game animals. I'm getting a lot of use out of this pack system, and so I think it's a very great, I really like it. It's probably not going to be right for everybody, but up in my region with the cold weather, you know, I mean, I'm using this in a hunting context, but a little bit later in winter, there's, you know, depending on what kind of snow we get, you know, I can put my hot tent on here, I can put my snowshoes on here, I can do a lot of things. Like you saw, I was already packing trekking poles and other gear. So it's very versatile, really gives me a lot of flexibility, as opposed to your normal backpack that's just a big bag on a frame. This gives me a ton of versatility. I think there's a little bit, for its capacity, it's a little bit heavy. So I think that's the trade-off is, you know, it's not the lightest option, but it's really not that bad either. I think for the versatility, it's, you know, there's a significant trade-off there. I'm going to flip it over real quick, kind of show you the other side here. Out of the way. So starting at the top here is where your suspension attaches. Got the, you know, excellent Hill People gear, shoulder straps, the most comfortable shoulder straps I've ever used. The way it distributes your weight, they call it a yoke. And instead of just two straps going into the frame, you actually have this Y, or I guess, yeah, kind of a Y shape that cradles over your back and shoulders and stuff once you get it adjusted properly for you. Real quick, one of the cool things I love about their stuff is, you know, they're pretty famous for their kit bags, which is like a chest-mounted pack that you can put really whatever you want. You can pack a pistol in there, as well as, you know, I've got a bino harness or a bino pouch, small pouch here that I can put a radio in, all my, you know, emergency medical gears in there. But normally this would, normally this would be worn over your shoulders, just like a chest rig. But right up front, they have these two grim locks. And these grim locks actually tie in with these two straps that come from the shoulder straps. They clip in. Basically what they are is miniature load lifters for your kit bag. And it's pretty cool when you get everything on and then you hook these in, cinch them up, and it transfers a lot of the weight from your kit bag onto the pack frame suspension. You'll actually feel your center of gravity adjust for it. You know, instead of being a little front heavy, you'll feel it shift back. So it's a pretty awesome system. Very comfortable to hike with. And then, so we've talked about the shoulder straps. Of course, it's got, you know, your sternum strap, and then it comes down and ties into the lower part of the frame. And then they've got the prairie belt, which is the hip belt for the pack. Super comfortable once again one of the best hip belts I've ever used by far. And then get this bottle out of the way real quick. A little overlooked detail, seems minute, but this is what they call their Delta strap. It's a G-hook that ties in on the belt. And what this does is when you cinch it down, it sucks the load into the lumbar region of your back better. And I like mine cinched up all the way. And so I leave it tight, just like that, taped up all the slack, and that's how it stays. So, huge, very ergonomic pack system for carrying heavy loads. It's truly enjoyable to pack with it. So that pretty much does it for the Line 3A gear that I used for deer hunting and how I set up the Decker Packframe with the accessories from Hill People Gear. The next video will be the Line 3B gear that I used. So keep an eye out for that. I want to thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a great day.